Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. It's June 9th, 2020. Um, I'm here with a severe weather briefing, like normal, and a tropical weather briefing. We have Tropical Depression Cristobal now in Missouri. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about the severe weather today. But yes, please subscribe. I am kind of mad because yesterday there was a bunch of tornado warnings. Of course, I was unable to live stream, and I live streamed 2 days before that, and nothing happened big. It kind of makes me mad, but yes. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So today the SPC has issued an enhanced risk in southern Nebraska and northern Kansas. We have two areas to watch. We have this one here with Kansas City, Omaha, Nebraska, into this slight risk. And then we have another slight risk in Illinois into Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana right there in this region. Those are the two big areas to watch. Now, we also have two areas of marginal risk. We have this big one going all the way up to Wisconsin and Michigan right there. Then we have another one in Texas to watch. So we're going to be seeing that. Now, the interesting thing is we have a tornado risk. We have a 10% risk for tornadoes today in southern Nebraska and northern Kansas. Yeah, right there you can see that. But we also have two 5%. We have one in the slight risk over there, and we have a slight risk in the east. Or not in the east, but in Illinois, Indiana, that area of the Ohio Valley, I guess, with 5% area. There's a wind threat over there also. No hail threat. There is a hail threat also. There's a 30% significant hail threat also in southern Nebraska and northern Kansas. Wind threat today, we used to have 250%. Hail and tornadoes is looking interesting today. Yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and get started here. We'll actually look at the day 2 outlook real quick. This is for tomorrow. We have a large slight risk from Michigan through Ohio into Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York. We're going to be talking about this severe weather area in tomorrow morning's video. We're not going to be talking about that today. I'm kind of low on time today. We already have a 5% total risk in Ohio and Michigan. And wind and hail is a risk tomorrow in those areas. Now, day 3, we only have a marginal, and that's in the east. Well, let's get started. So first, we're going to be talking about the triple point setup we're going to have. We have a small 10% in this area, so keep that in mind. Small 10% in this area here, small enhanced risk, right along the triple point. So by this afternoon, we're going to look at the HRR model today, because I think that's what's going to happen. Because it's looking pretty. It did these storms good in Nebraska this morning. So I think it understands what's going on a little better than the NAM model does right now. So at around 19Z, we start to see some isolated storms fire up in northern Nebraska, but that's not really in our severe area. But by 20Z, it really starts to get going. So we have storms up through central Nebraska. These are the ones to watch here. These storms kind of to the east and the south. This one here, a few of these could be tornado producers, and it could be supercells. The triple point, let's get the triple point. Get this pulled up here so we can see where the triple point is. So the triple point setup is right there. We can see we have those supercells. We have one right on the low pressure system. So some of these will likely be tornado producers as we go into the tonight. And we see they hit Omaha, Nebraska kind of as a line, but maybe still some embedded supercells. But I think today we could be seeing a localized or a few tornadoes in Kansas. I'm not expecting a tornado outbreak as the risk we're going to be looking at is pretty small today in Kansas and southern Nebraska, but I think we could be looking at some interesting photogenic tornadoes today. Now let's look at some of the severe weather areas. Let's look at instability or CAPE. Let's look at that mixed layer CAPE I like to look at. So mixed layer CAPE in this area is definitely pretty good. It's not extreme or anything, but we see around 2,000 to 2,500 in our enhanced risk area. The triple point is right here. Seems like we have a cold front there and a warm front here. It's kind of what I'm looking at. I think it's probably a little bit different than that. But I think this area right here is going to be seeing the highest tornado potential in Kansas and Nebraska. We have good CAPE in that area. Let's take a look at moisture real quick. That is sometimes an issue. So let's go to 21Z. Moisture, look at this. Moisture is really good. We got dew points in the upper 60s to lower 70s, so that's very good for storms. I think our area for maybe severe storms is most likely this area here. Maybe some isolated high base, or not high base, but weak storms in this area, but the tornado potential is lower. So we see now, let's go back to severe weather. This is something that could be an issue. We're going to look at mixed layer CIN. This is something that I've been looking at. We have a little bit more capping. We don't have a strong cap. But at 22Z, when we could have our supercells ongoing, this area back here looks to be the area we have the best chances for supercells, which is our 10% area. But I think the cap though is not the best for supercells. It's not really. It's a little bit. It's weak, but then it's a little bit too weak. But in some areas we could be seeing just enough, like this area here, just enough capping to get some supercells. Now let's look at bulk shear. We're going to look at 0 to 6 kilometer on the HRR model here. Now bulk shear was pretty high yesterday in Nebraska. I was supporting a lot of tornadic storms. Now let's look at this afternoon, 22Z. Bulk shear today is really high. I think it's a good call for the 10% area. Look at this. We got almost 100 knots of bulk shear in our 10% area. 100 knots of bulk shear. So that's going to be supporting a lot of tornadic storms, or a few tornadic storms. I'm not expecting a big, widespread tornado outbreak. It's a pretty small area I'm watching here. Let's look at supercell composite. All right. Supercell composite this afternoon is pretty good. In some areas, we got up to around 20, which is good. I mean, supercell composite only needs to be like 2. For a few. But we have definitely, that's pretty good. Let's look at SIGTOR. I don't really like to make my forecast off of this. But we can look at it. And see, our best area for tornadoes is likely going to be this area according to the significant tornado parameter. So yes, that's pretty much all we're going to talk about today. I want to take a sounding. Pivotal weather is really slow right now. Not sure why. Yeah, but look at this. We got a lot of STPs around 00Z, which is 7 p.m. Lots of high area SIGTOR right there. Now I want to take some soundings. So let's take a sounding for where's our enhanced risk exactly. Let's go back to today's outlook. Our enhanced risk is right there. So let's take a sounding right in there. I want to take one right here at 23Z. That is too that's like way too. We're not going to be able to see anything. That's too contaminated. Let's take one from northern Kansas. Here we go. This one's slightly contaminated, but we might be able to look at it. So temperature 89, dew point is 71. The way you can tell if it's contaminated or not is these red lines. That one was very contaminated, the other one, but this one's only kind of moderately contaminated. But possible hazard type is tornado. Shear is low, but it's decent. Weak Steuben Hills. Cape is good. It's not the best sounding I've ever seen, but it's okay. It's not. This is an okay sounding. Let's go take one from this area maybe. Alright, this area looks a little better. But now look at this shear profile. Okay, so you see we have pretty good shear. We have winds at about 700 millibars out of the southwest. But at the surface, they're out of the southeast. So that's pretty good shear. Look at the upper level shear. The surface 8 kilometer is 67 knots, which is pretty good. Lower level shear is not the best. Cape is good. The sounding's not contaminated. We got a 73 dew point, 73 dew point and 86 temperature, or 86 degrees Fahrenheit for the temperature. Significant super. All right. Possible hazard type is tornado. I think this is pretty good. But the only thing is, hate EpiPen. CIN is not good. The capping is pretty weak, which is not the best. But I want to see at least negative 20 CIN, which we don't even have in that area. That's one of the things that is probably not. That's probably why we don't have a 10% SIG on our rest, a 10% significant. Now on this sounding is very slightly contaminated, but Still, we got that good shear. But look at this sounding. So this sounding was a little bit further to the east. Look at this. CIN, negative 35 at surface. So this, I'm thinking this area, wherever I took that sounding around 00Z, I think this area here could be seeing some strong, or has the best area for tornadoes. That's the area I'm thinking for today in this area. So now let's stop talking about that area. Let's go back to our little 5% or kind of big 5% area in this area, in the kind of the, I guess Midwest, in the Tennessee and Kentucky. So let's get this. I like one. I mean, this I don't really like because I don't like pivotal weather's 1 kilometer reflectivity. It kind of is misleading with like convective storms because we see right. Oh my God. Okay, we see like right here we have pretty strong bands, and down here we have pretty strong bands, but it doesn't look as strong as it normally would on tropical tidbits and that kind of stuff. But it's like 50. Those are kind of convective. Those are convective storms and potentially severe. Not these up here. That's just heavy rain mostly. But go to this afternoon. We see we have the triple point setting up in western. Okay, I'm done with Epic Pen. But we have the triple point sitting up right here. So we kind of have a line of storms forming right here in southwestern Indiana, northern Kentucky, maybe a little bit in northern Tennessee, and the eastern Illinois, and maybe western Illinois in that area also. And those move northeast, and some of these could produce weak tornadoes, maybe weak brief spin-ups. I'm not expecting a tornado outbreak or that kind of stuff, but I think there could be several weak or brief tornadoes in that area. I don't think they're going to be long-lived. I think it could be brief, and then that moves on, and then we see what happens in Kansas over there. But I think there could be a few brief tornadoes, but I'm not expecting like a widespread supercell event or any of that kind of stuff. Let's look at severe weather. Let's look at mixed layer cape here. All right. Up to this afternoon. For this afternoon, mixed layer cape is kind of an issue. Cape is on the low side. It's decent enough, but in some areas where it could be seeing the highest tornado potential, it's below 1,000. So it's not like we're going to be seeing. It's not like we're seeing high cape. But later in the afternoon, we could see some isolated storms kind of trigger off along the warm front. Maybe some isolated supercells in this area here. Potentially along the warm front, and some of those could produce tornadoes. There is some higher cape later in the night, though, around maybe 3,000. That moves north. You see that. Now let's look at mixed layer CIN today. All right, this is taking a second. Pivotal weather is really slow today. I don't know if it's my computer. I don't know what it is, but this afternoon we have good CIN in the backside of this, but along that warm front tonight. See, we have decent CIN in a lot of areas along the warm front, negative 20, which is okay for supercells. So could be seeing some of that. Let's look at bulk shear. This is important for tornadoes. All right, now let's go out to this afternoon. So we don't have high bulk shear, so that's why I'm not expecting very strong long-lived tornadoes. I'm expecting maybe one tornado, maybe that might get up to EF2 strength. I'm not expecting anything too serious though in this area. But we have bulk shear ranging in between 30 to 40 knots. Then along that warm front that I'm kind of watching, we don't have high bulk shear at all, around 20 to 30 knots. But Kansas could have some maybe one strong tornado, but capping storm mode's not really that good. Let's look at supersonic composite now. All right, supersonic composite. Let's go to the 8 hour. All right, so supersonic composite is good across all areas of Illinois and Indiana. You see, it's also good along the warm front though. Look at that, supersonic composite of 13 to 15 in some areas. So I think the warm front could have maybe some isolated supercells. We can look at reflectivity here. We probably see if we're gonna have any initiation along that. Give us an idea. All right, so let's go out. We can see we have that warm front right there at 01Z. We can see it kind of is right in this area. We have some isolated storms trying to get going. It seems like they're being capped. It seems like they're capped off, so they're not going to get too. It seems like they're capped off, which I think that is right because we look sort of like in this area here of Illinois at 03 and in the Missouri. We got this severe weather. This is forecast hour 15. Go to surface base CIN. Now we go back out to that hour, 03Z. We see, it looks like they're. I see why they're not getting going at all in this area of Missouri that they're capped. And then it seems like the storms trying to get going in this area are capped also. But if we can get anything trying to develop in this area here, I don't know if you guys in this area here, I think that could potentially be an interesting storm. We have good CIN, especially in this area. So I'm going to redo that circle probably like right here. We might be able to get something going up. Potentially be severe. Now let's take a sounding for this area, or for that area real quick. I'm thinking tornado sounding, decent shear, okay, or good cape actually. 21.3 supersonic composite, which is pretty good. So a decent sounding. It actually has really good shears. But if we can get any storms that actually aren't or break the cap, I think they could be could produce a tornado. Now let's take some soundings from along the front, or like the tropical system earlier. We're talking about two systems here. The one that's in Kansas producing that enhanced risk is not Tropical Depression Cristobal. Tropical Depression Cristobal has the 5% risk in the Ohio Valley. Now let's take this marginal severe sounding for that. We're not going to really look at that. Let's take a look up here by Chicago. Marginal severe, decent sounding low cape, or not the best cape though. Maybe Indiana. Let's take a look there. Tornado sounding, good cape. Shear is on the low side. Shear is not good on this sounding though. So I think that could limit the tornado potential, but we definitely could see some severe weather in southern Indiana. But I think the tornado potential is not going to be that high. Let's try maybe this area. Marginal tor, all right. Shear is it's in the middle. It's not the best, but we have some okay shear. Marginal tor sounding definitely. But yeah, that'll be what's going on with the severe weather today. All right. Let's talk about Cristobal now. So let's go out. Cristobal is in northeastern Missouri. It has sustained winds of 30 right now, 992 millibar low pressure system. And we also have another potential disturbance, which we're not going to really look at today, as there's only a 10% of it forming. But we can see right there. Let's look at the Eastern Pacific now. 5 days, nothing. In the next 5 days, nothing right here in the next 5 days. So let's Tropical Storm Cristobal. Let's actually look at the cone here. Rainfall potential, I guess, is the only thing. It's actually the Weather Prediction Center is issuing these now, or is issuing the advisories. So there's no cone anymore. But you can see potential 4 to 6 inches of rain in western Wisconsin. So this thing is dumping a lot of rain in kind of the Midwest. Yeah, that is today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There might be a live stream this afternoon. But yes.